very generous season of giving, and so we're giving away gift certificates to make yourselves beautiful this holiday season. Bello Skincare Holiday Giveaway. Kami po ay namimigay ng gift certificates para sa Bello Skincare Clinic. It's $150. So ang gagawin nyo lang po is sumulat kayo sa amin sa Kababayan at la18.tv. And the question is, what is your favorite Kababayan LA moment sa Kababayan LA ng 2011? It could be a favorite guest, a favorite topic, a favorite segment, a favorite giveaway, a favorite performance, and why is that? Email us Kababayan at la18.tv. We're picking 3 winners to win $150 each, care of Bello Skincare. Magpaganda this holiday season. And meanwhile, you know, when we speak of beauty, I don't only mean beauty on the inside or on the outside, dahil meron din pong tinatawag na beautiful on the inside, and women that are courageous, women that are strong, women that are speaking up for their rights are beautiful indeed. And that's what we're talking about today on the show. Kasama po si Carol Ojeda-Kimbrough. Hello and welcome once again to Kababayan LA.
Good to be here, Janelle.
Carol, you know, in the last how many days we've been talking about 16 days of activism against gender violence, and a lot of people are asking now, parang, saan ba nagsimula? At bakit nagsimula? At bakit napili yung November 25? And this brings to light the story of 4 sisters in Dominican Republic. Can you tell us about this story?
Well, in 1999, dito nagsimula. 1999, the United Nations General Assembly designated November 25 as the International Day for the Elimination of Gender Violence or Violence Against Women. And it also happened to be that November 25 was the date in 1960 when 4 sisters, the Mirabal sisters, were, well, 3 of them were killed in the Dominican Republic, and 1 survived and is still with us. And the significance of these sisters is that they opposed the dictatorship of the government of Trujillo in Dominican Republic. One of the sisters, I believe Minerva Mirabal, was her nickname was Mariposa. And so they were very active in this organization, actively organizing against Trujillo's government, so that the people started calling them Las Mariposas, the butterflies. And 3 of them were killed on November 25, 1960.
And because they actually upset Trujillo personally, because Trujillo wanted to go out, I think, was it Minerva?
Right. Yes, Minerva. He wanted to have a relationship
with her, and she refused his advances, and that is why. And that is what this is, you know, a kind of example of violence against women, which is men harassing women for simple things like that. Diba, Carol? How pervasive is this issue?
In terms of women being harassed for any little thing, anything that challenges the patriarchal system, in addition to just basic human rights also. But especially because they're women, they become target for oppression, repression, for the littlest things, like refusing someone's advances. If a woman were to approach a man and he refused her advances, she wouldn't go out and
kill the guy or commit violence against the guy.
Exactly. Pero because of the machismo and the patriarchal system, men in power especially feel that it's their prerogative to commit these.
I've heard of some cases where I think it was in one of the Asian countries. Now, this girl refused advances of her cousin, and then one time she was taking a nap. The cousin lit the hut on fire, and she was burned alive. And so when you say that it's the system, and so it lends enormity to the issue, how do we, through 16 days of activism against gender violence, or through our little works, how do we fight that system?
Well, there are many ways. The 16 days is one of the ways where we educate people. It starts on November 25, which commemorates the death, the murder of these sisters, Las Mariposas. And it ends on December 10, which is the International Human Rights Day. So in those 16 days, there are many, many different events that are happening, or all these little steps that people can take. Human rights isn't just about, or defending human rights isn't just about being martyred.
Uh-huh.
It involves all the little steps that, nurses, social workers, teachers, people who defend basic human rights.
Right. Which
So-
brings me to my next question. When you talk about basic human rights, is that not enough? Why do we need to have women's human rights defenders?
Well, the reason we say women human rights defenders is we want to also focus on, there are human rights defenders in general. This
Right.
is anyone. But we focus on the women human rights defenders because as human rights defenders, women become more susceptible to or targets for
Oppression?
oppression, not just by the government, not just by paramilitary, but sometimes, as you said, by relatives or their own community because they're women and because they're active in advocating for human rights. They threaten the status quo or the social balance that people want, which is
Right.
male-dominated.
Yes, and that's what we're talking about here on the show. If you want to be a defender of women's human rights, we're going to give you tips when we return, because you don't have to take to the streets to actually, do a demonstration for this, because in your own little ways, in your community, in your family, amongst friends, you can be a defender of women's human rights. And that's when we return on the show. Don't go.